kept our administrative fees the same, and then we've kept the safety fund fee the same. There's not enough, $3,000 is not really enough change to make those adjustments. You can really make any kind of adjustments you want to with the safety fund, but for right now, we just went ahead and looked at having your total single premium be $378.
When you arrived at that safety fund figure, without having what the pool numbers were, how did you arrive at that?
We just went, this is our normal process, and then we always talk about, okay, what makes sense? Do we want to take money from the pool, or if there was a big, if you were over in your claims by $10,000, we would make the adjustments, and we would break it down, $10,000 broken down per person, and then figure it out per month, and how do we need to make that adjustment. $3,000 over 50 people is a few cents. And so that's a total increase of 12%. Again, just doing the exact same thing. And I have we'll get to a spreadsheet a little bit further that will just show all the total amount of increase for the plan. So. And then I'll just quickly go through option number 2. Same thing, we purchased a $2,000 deductible. The difference in the plan, though, is the employees pay 20% co-insurance versus 10% co-insurance, and there's no reimbursements for the drugs or the office visits. It's employees simply pick up that full $20 copay, $150 emergency room, so there's no copayment there. And flip to page 18. There are no singles on this plan, and that's, again, just simply the structure of the maximum amount that you pay for an employee. Employees are going to choose really the better plan. So there's no singles on the plan, it's just family contracts. And we projected last year $51,300. The actual expenses, again, looking forward, are going to come in just under $30,000 for a total savings of $21,800. And if you take away that $3,000 that we went over in plan 1, the total savings for both plans is $18,661. Okay, any questions on that?
And that's relatively easy to understand in that you're less risk at the level 2 plan.
Right. And you're simply going to have, of the family contracts that are on option number 1, they feel either want the security of having a better plan or know that they're going to have claims that are going to, that's just going to be a benefit for them, that they're going to have those claims. So there's nobody on, well, I'll finish going through this. Obviously, we had some movement to have up on page 19. Your claims have gone down per person, but you have a lot more people on option number 2, especially this year. So, and that was, I think, again, just when we looked at costs and how to, we had some rates were the same, but I think there were some changes internally, and employees just really had to look at, or those family contracts had to look at what's most affordable, and so I think that was a big movement last year. So. And again, the projected savings on this plan in 07, 08, save a little bit of money, $7,000 last year, you saved about $21,000. And then this year we anticipate saving just under $40,000 for a total of $68,000. And again, Joe's going to have the actual numbers of, okay, how much do we have in our, did you find, okay.
Yes.
What was that number?
$208,714.05.
I'm sorry, $208,000.
$714.05.
Well, that's better than what we thought.
No kidding.
That's a pool balance over a period of about 4 years.
Yeah.
So that 45,000 has been pretty steady over the years that we've been doing this.
It's been a really good thing.
And then really there's nobody on option 3. I can go through it, but essentially it's just the $750 deductible. So So those are the plan options. Again, if you were to keep everything exactly the same, that's essentially what your plans would look like. We have, you know, some claims information, if you guys want to go over it. Simply, this is not a surprise. I know you probably talked about this with Deanne when she was here. There are some large claims, and again, you probably went over what are the claims over 10,000. There are a few. Is it unheard of? No. We see groups of 20 that have 10, you know, large claims over 10,000. So you're going to have those claims. But when we look at this year versus last year, your total dollar amounts are up. The amounts that the employees have paid is actually up a little bit. The amount that the county obviously has paid is up a little bit. But the number of claims is actually down a little bit. So what that tells us is that's because of, again, there's not maybe as many claims as just some of those large claims. You're just simply going to pay for more of those, and you guys are going to know your people, you know what's going on, and we can tell just based off some of these, again, large claims. You're going to have that. You're going to have people hospitalized. You're going to have those big claims. The point to the county though is you're capped right now at $3,000, essentially $3,000 per any one person. So if somebody had $100,000 in claims, which is again not unheard of, the most of the county's going to pay for is $3,000, and then the rest is going to be picked up by Blue Cross Blue Shield. One of the things that we always consider and go back and forth on is does self-funding make sense? Right now, your liability is very limited. I don't think that you guys are in a position, and Deanne would probably attest to this, where the self-funding probably doesn't make sense. So, okay, I just want to make sure. Wouldn't be doing that.
That's not an option.
Just FYI, Blue Cross would not even self-fund a group of your size. We'd say there has to be at least 100 enrolled because of the risk. And you guys have been there, I believe.
Yeah, previous to our
So,
involvement.
so do you guys have any questions about, oh, I'm sorry, did you?
No, nothing.
I just want to quickly go, or not quickly, I want to move kind of along into what we think is a good alternative. Again, we look at different carriers, that doesn't really make sense at this point. We can talk about that, but I think there's an option for the county to save a little bit of money, take on a tiny bit of risk, but we, again, made some adjustments in the safety fund to offset those risks. A few minor changes to the employees, but really it's a way for you to really cut that increase in about half. If you turn to this packet here,